Yeah, Shepherd Fire here, back with a brand new RC upgrade video. Today we're working on my Traxxas Rally. Last video I did a little introduction as to what this machine is. Basically, it's a slash 4x4 with a roughly 1/7 scale rally body on it from Traxxas, obviously. And I may have showed you last time that I stripped the pinion gear. That's what we're fixing today. So today I have a bunch of replacement parts. So we got, to start, the blue anodized aluminum bearing adapter from an official Traxxas part. There's the part number, that's what it is. Comes with the brand new bearing too, which we will be installing. Also what we've got, brand new pinion gear, 3945X. It is a 15 tooth 32 pitch hardened aluminum, machined and hardened steel, as well as a set screw. It should make it go roughly 50 miles an hour is my guess. I should have a running video up sooner or later. And lastly, since I don't want to be getting rid of any more, steel pinion gears, I figured I'll just go straight and remove the current steel, like Robinson Racing Spur gear that's in it, and replace it with the stock Traxxas one, part number 3956, and that's what it is, 54 tooth. So, I'll get into installing this. Starting off, we just take the body off, throw that off to the side here. We don't really need the, the little thing for the antenna came off. Let me just put that back on. There. So, as you can see, what we need to start off by doing, let me just get my little light over here, is you see those 3 screws that are up there? Well, that's holding down this black cover. Those 3 screws are up because I already unscrewed them just for the purpose of this video. So let me just lift up this cover right here, hold the 3 screws in it. Oh, it held 2 of the screws down. Okay, well, we can take those out too, and let me just see here. So, as you see, currently there's no pinion gear on it because I took it off, and there's a steel pinion gear. We will be changing that today. So let me go ahead and take the back part of the car off, and you can do that simply by removing, let me just get a good angle here, this screw here. Jeez, it's kind of hard to get a good angle on this. This screw here, and this screw here. This screw and this one, as well as this screw and this screw. So, I'll call you guys when I have the back end of the car off. So guys, I got the 4 screws undone, and here they are. I don't know if you can see this, but 2 of them are a bit shorter. Those are the 2 that go on top. The 2 of the longer ones do go on the bottom. So now I'm just going to pull the back end of the car up by grabbing this part here and pulling it back, and I'll get back to you when I pull the back end of the car off. So guys, I have the back end of the car off, and as you can see, all it is that basically holds the 2 together after you take the screws out is this shaft here, which goes straight into the diff. Now the reason I have the diff looking like this currently is because there's oil in there, but it's extremely thin. I don't want it leaking out everywhere, so I put it upright so the oil doesn't spew out that bearing there. So, that was a lot of talking. The next step is really just pull this out, which you should be able to do. Just, it's kind of a bit harder to do it with one hand. Let me just try and prop this up here, and I'll see if I can do it. Wait, whoops, we gotta push the drive shaft back first. Yeah, we gotta push the drive shaft back first, then pull the spur gear out. Okay, so there we go. I can turn off the light now and pick up the camera. So here we have the old spur gear and clutch assembly. Now, as you can see, this is a steel one, I believe from Robinson Racing, correct me if I'm wrong. So we're just going to start disassembling this, and yeah, we're just going to take it apart and put all the new parts on. So what we're going to do is start off by taking off this little set screw here that holds on the input shaft from the drive shaft going into the spur gear assembly. Now that that's off, we're going to go remove this screw. I believe it is a 8mm, and then I'll get back to you. So there you go, guys. I got off this nut, and it was an, let's see if it can focus. No, actually I'll just tell you. It's an 8mm nut that holds down this. I know we can just pull off this collapsible spring, pull off this bronze bearing adapter, which I'm going to check and see if I can keep, because I really like to. It's a nice color. And now we could just pull off the old spur gear from Robinson Racing, which I will be setting aside. I'm not getting rid of that. And then lastly, we have the end clutch bell, I believe it's called, and the actual clutch plate itself. So we can just kind of do this. There we go. Now that came off. Set that off to the side. Do not lose this little pin, guys. It's really important. So I'm going to go get the new parts that I have to put into this, and I'll be right back. So as you can see here, guys, I do have the new parts that I need to install and replace another Robinson Racing to the stock Traxxas. This, I believe, is off a Traxxas / two-wheel drive high center of gravity. This here is off a, I believe, what's it called? Traxxas Rustler XL5. And this part is replacing this right here. This part is replacing the inside of the spur gear, because that's all this one uses. Lastly, what we're using are these clutch pads. And ignore the spur gear that's wrapped around it. That's going to be taken off, which it's off that rustler over there. Don't tell my brother. So let's come over here. I already took off these 3 screws, which we will need to install on Arctos, which I believe, well, I don't know if I said it before. I don't remember if I did or not. Well, this rally, I told you guys last time in the last video in the introduction that I would make a name for this car, and I've come up with Arctos. Arctos is the, I believe, Old English name for Kodiak. As you guys know, my favorite thing in the world, my four-wheeler, my Yamaha Kodiak, well, it's a Kodiak, so I figured, hey, if you have the Old English name for Kodiak, which in this case is Arctos, it'd be cool to name it my possibly new favorite thing in the world. So yeah, this rally's name is Arctos, and we're installing Arctos' first upgrade. So let's get back to this now. I also will be taking out this bearing, because the one, well, actually, let me see. Actually, no, the one in the Robinson Racing spur gear is actually in decent condition. But, as you can see, it's a bit too big, so we can't exactly use it. So, I can just kind of pull this off now. Let's kind of do it one-handed. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to pull these off one-handed. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. I just pried this off now. And I believe we can start putting everything together in the new one. So, here we go. I'm going to go open everything. Starting off with the spur gear. So I'm just going to turn off my light. Set this aside. And I'm going to open this. Let's try and open this a bit nicely here. Perfect. Oh, it didn't come open. One second, I just need to stab a hole through it. There we go. So I've never actually seen a four-wheel drive spur gear before from Traxxas. And seems pretty nice. Is there a proper way I'm supposed to put this on? I'm not sure, actually. Because if you guys can see, look at that side, and look at this side, and I'm not sure which side is supposed to go where. So let me check and see. So if you put it like this, does that even fit? Yeah, it does. Could be like that. That makes sense. Wait, which way does the bearing go in? Doesn't matter. It goes in either way. and it also fits in there. But which way would it be better? Probably this way, because if you put the screw in here. Alright, you know what, guys? I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm going to go watch a video and see which way the screws go in. Alright, guys, so I figured it out. The screws go in on this side. That makes a lot of sense now. Actually, looking at the Spur gear that the screws came off of, makes a lot of sense now. So, I'm going to go install it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on. I'm going to flip this around to the side this isn't going on. Take these 3 holes and just kind of push it in there. Now I'm going to go attach those 3 screws. Alright, guys, there you go. It is now built. The clutches are in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go put a bearing in there. It's the same bearings you have in your what's called wheels. It's like this, and then you just put it right in the center and push down on it until it's completely in. Now I'm going to go start assembling it. I don't know why I decided to do that, but I haven't done anything yet since I shut off the camera. So what I'm going to do, starting, is I'm going to take this piece here. As you can see, there's 4 parts where it's slightly lifted. Well, on this there's 4 parts 90 degrees from each other, and those 4 pieces go directly on here, just like that. Now what we're going to do is take the motor shaft. As you see, that pin is in there, and on the back of this there is a slot for that pin to go in. Can't really see it because the camera's not focusing, but trust me, it's there. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to go like this and line it up perfectly with the pin with the hole. And now it's built. Yes, the what's that called? Yes, that just popped off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the Spur gear with the clutch on it, the clutch plates at least. I'm going to pass the shaft through the middle with the clutches facing the clutch pressure plate. So now that's on now. Next, what we're going to do, ooh, another new part to install. Perfect. Now we're going to go get our brand new bearing adapter, part number 6893X. It is the blue anodized aluminum one for the Traxxas Slash. Actually, we might be able to, yes, we can use the bronze one from the Robinson Racing, I believe. So we just install it like that. Actually, you know what, no. Let's just be 100% sure and use the Traxxas one. You know, I don't want anything to go wrong while I'm driving this, because I want to be able to enjoy my cars. I don't want to be constantly wrenching on them, even though I do like working on them, because, you know, it's kind of rewarding. So now we have, what do we have here? We have a brand new ball bearing that's gonna sit on this bearing adapter just like this, and the bearing adapter goes to where the driveline meets up with the chassis. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our clutch assembly that we have here. We're going to take it like this and slide it on so that the bearing adapter is facing the bearing like that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our collapsible spring, slide it over the motor shaft, just like that. Put on this 8mm nut. Let me just, there. One second, I'm just going to go ahead and tighten that down. So I'm going to do, actually I'll just tell you guys when I'm done. So there you go, I'm just using a ratchet now to tighten this down. What we're going to do is we're going to go all the way right there. And then we're going to, so now it's going to loosen. Then we're going to do half a turn. Just like that. Now, all we need to do, well, almost all we need to do, is take this piece here, slide it around, put it as far down as it'll go, Now you just need to tighten that set screw, which I'm going to go do now. There we go, guys. The clutch and driveline assembly for the center part is now complete. As a further upgrade I'm going to do to this later on in the series build for Arctos, I'm going to replace this with the e-Revo part, which hopefully should be stronger, it'll bite harder, and it still fits on a slash spur gear, so that works perfectly well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and install it into Arctos. And I'll show you how to do that, I guess. I'll push all my junk out of the way here. So, for starters, what we can do is you can't really... Let me just get my light here for a second. You guys see in here, there's this ball bearing? Well, that's what the bearing adapter rides on. And we're going to replace it with this one, because it is in far better condition and it's brand new. And this one you can kind of hear it grinds a little bit. I'm not going to turn it because I can't do it one-handed, but I will get this bearing out just by pulling on it, and then I will install this new one. There you go, guys. As you can see, I got the old bearing out, so I'm just going to clean out that hole and I'm going to put the new bearing in. There you go, guys. As you can see, I put the new bearing in. Now what we're going to do is slide the center driveline back in, because I did take it out in order to get to the to this bearing and push out from the other side. So I'm just going to slide that back in. So guys, the center driveline's back in. Next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our fully rebuilt assembly here. I'm just going to put it in here. Line it up with the drive shaft on the inside, which is a bit of a job. There we go. So what we just gotta do is get it to work its way. Oh, this light's really getting in the way. It's annoying. Oh jeez. Sorry, I'll try not to make it. So let me just try and get this back in. So it's almost lined up. All we need to do is push this forward, get this back a bit. This looks hard, but it's only because I'm doing it with one hand. As you can see where my problem is, I just need to slide this forward. Oh, almost got it, almost got it. Nope, I was so close to almost getting it. Oh, there we go, got it. As you can see now, it's meshed with the drive shaft. That was a lot longer than I expected. I'm sorry, I should have paused the video. Next, what we're going to do is, well, install the new pinion gear, and I'm going to show you how we do that now. Well, actually what we need to do is we need to remove this screw here, which is going to pull this plate out along with the motor, and then we also just need to undo these wires here. So I'm just going to do that, then I'll get you guys right back. So it turns out I didn't actually need to unplug these because, well, the motor's not really in the way that much anymore. So, next up, we're putting on our brand new pinion gear. I'm really excited to get this on because it's the last thing we need to do before we get this thing up and running. And man, Arctos is going to be a fun thing to use, let me tell you. So, I'm just going to open up the bag and undo these screws. So, I kind of lied to you guys a little bit. I didn't actually need to remove these screws. So yeah. Also, if you guys see this flat part of the motor, well, that's the output shaft. Or this set screw sits on the flat part of that. So we need to line this up perfectly on top. How it sits right on the edge of the motor shaft roughly. And then we're going to tighten it back down. There you go, guys, new pinion gear is on, and I'm so excited to go and install this back in. So, to install it, it's just the reverse process. You position this here with the top of a screw right there. And it should be pivoting back and forth. Perfect. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to find the screw that's in here. That's the screw there. Now I'm just going to tighten it down roughly. Actually, we should probably check the gear spacing first. There it goes, perfectly lined up. So now I'm going to go get the proper gear meshing, which you just, you place the gears together as far as you can, and then run a strip of paper through it, and then tighten it while the paper's in between. Well guys, I should probably tell you, on four-wheel drive vehicles, it's easier to set the gear mesh when you have the back end of the car on, because then it holds the spur gear in place. Like this, it can move around a bit, as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the back end of the car back on by sliding it on, and then meshing up this with that right there. So I'll do that, and I'll have the car back together. There you go, the rear end of the car is installed. All I have to do now is reinsert the two smaller screws that go on top right here, and the two that go on the bottom that hold the chassis, that hold the rear diff end to the chassis. And well, I'll be back whenever I do that. There you go guys, I reinstalled, sorry I just closed the drawer. I reinstalled the 4 screws that hold on the rear end to the chassis, main chassis. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this screw a bit in order to be able to move this plate back and forth, and I'm going to get the proper spacing. I told you guys how to do that. If you guys didn't understand clearly enough from how I said, Traxxas, their official YouTube channel, has or Traxxas support, may I say, has a very, very good video showing how to set the proper gear mesh. So, I'm just going to set the proper one on this, and, well, I'm just going to put the cover back on, and then, well, Arctos has done his first upgrade, and, well, I'm really happy about it. Guys, I'm so happy about this. Arctos is a fully functional RC again. Let's power it on. Plug in a battery. Well, plug in a battery first. Power it on, and let's see if it's got power to the wheels. Most likely it does. All right, man, we got a battery plugged in here. Gonna power it on technically for the first time since I got this RC. Oh, we got a green light. Car on the road. Oh. We have power. Boy, we have power. Here you go guys, you're seeing Arctos' first drive. Man, am I happy about this. I've never technically driven a four-wheel drive machine before. Okay, you guys didn't really see anything there. Oh man, this thing's freaking awesome. Well, guys, that was Arctos' first upgrade. Man, this is gonna be an awesome series. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and as always, peace out.